ahead and get started. And I invite you to, again, have a mat or a towel. If you don't have a mat, that's okay. Just have a towel that you can put down on the ground and something comfortable to wear. So just make sure that it is something that you can move in. We're not going to be moving quickly, but we want to be able to have a place, enough space in our clothing so that we can come into these stretches and find a little bit of comfort in those. So welcome to your Yin Yoga practice. I'm so excited to share this practice with you today. This practice is all about keeping it simple. So there won't be a lot of talking. There won't be a lot of no really fancy moves or fancy things going on, but I feel as though it's really important for us to take time to keep things simple for us. A lot of us live in really high-paced or fast-paced and maybe even high overwhelm or high stress lifestyles, just the way that society kind of operates now and runs. And so this is an opportunity in our Yin Yoga practice to slow down from all of that and give ourselves that space and time to simplify and to start to take extra things away so that we can give ourselves time to reset and restart. So the name of the game in this practice today is all about keeping it simple. And so that also might mean for you, if there's something that doesn't feel good in your body and you need to shift or change your position, allow yourself to do that. So this is really your time, your space to keep it simple for you as well. Check in with yourself. How do I feel? Does this feel right for me? Should I move a little bit? Oh, that keeps it a little more simple for me. Maybe I'll do that instead. So I really give you that invitation to make this practice your own. So let's get started in our practice seated. So you might come to a cross-legged seat like I am. Maybe you sit on your knees if that feels better for you, or any other way to sit. Even for some of us, just sitting with our legs out in front of us with our arms chilling on our knees, that can be a good place to sit as well. So whatever feels best for you. And we'll take a few moments to center as we come into this space. So gently lower your gaze or close your eyes if that feels good for you. And as we arrive in this practice today, let's take a cleansing breath together. Take a full inhale through your nose. And then open the mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Let's do this 2 more times today. Deep breath in, fill the belly, fill the rib cage and the chest. This time hold your breath in at the top unless you're pregnant. And then open your mouth, exhale, sigh all the breath out, let it go. Last time, deepest breath you've taken all week. Fill the lungs up. Fill with fresh air, hold your breath in at the top. Maybe you sip in a little extra air. And now open the mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Come back into a natural rhythm of breath. And maybe you place one hand on top of your heart if that feels comfortable for you. And gently bow your chin down toward your chest. And invite yourself in this practice to bring in a little bit of simplicity. Truly give yourself permission to step aside from everything else. So even things that happened 5 minutes ago, that's in the past. If you need to pick something back up after the practice, feel free, but in this space and time, can you just be here? You're here on your mat. You're here in your body. And you are here with this breath that you're taking right now. See if you can soften behind the eyes a bit. Relax the hinge at your jaw. Allow the muscles in your belly to release. And just take a few moments and say to yourself in your mind, I am here. I am here. And invite yourself back here and now over and over again throughout your practice. If the mind starts planning or telling stories, see if you can just remind yourself, oh yeah, I'm here right now. This is all I need to do. And I invite myself to keep it simple. Take a deep breath again, in through the nose. Sigh the breath out, let it go. And if you would like to keep your eyes closed in this practice, I invite you to do so. If it feels better for you to gently blink them open, go ahead and do that. And we'll come into our first posture by bringing the soles of our feet down to the mat. And bring your knees or your feet a little bit wider than the mat here. And if it feels comfortable for you, you might straighten the legs. I have really tight hamstrings, so I'm going to keep my knees bent. So whatever feels good for you. For some people, bringing the legs out to straight feels really good, with the toes just relaxing or pointed up, whatever feels best for you. Otherwise, knees can stay bent, soles of the feet down on your floor. Let's take an inhale, reach your arms up toward the sky. As you exhale, bring your hands down in front of you and start to crawl the hands forward, hinging at the hips. If you have a slip disc or herniated disc, just keep your back straight here, and we're just hinging at the space of the hips. If you have a healthy spine, nothing is bothering you today, maybe you start to come down. You might crawl down to your forearms. You can use blocks or books or a couple of pillows if you'd like underneath the elbows. And I invite you to spin your palms to face up. And you can give your fingers a little wiggle to release tension. Maybe close your eyes. And just breathe here in this space. Your head might release down. Find a place that feels the most comfortable for you, shifting or changing anytime you feel pain. Making sure that you are in a space that opens your body up for flexibility, but never causes too much discomfort to the point of pain. And just be here and breathe. Reminding yourself that you are here. And just notice what comes up in the stillness and in the silence. For some of us, a yin yoga practice is more challenging than something more dynamic. Can we treat this as a meditation? A meditation on the body, on the breath that you're breathing, and on the moment that you're living in right now. Take a few more moments here. Take one more full inhale. One more full exhale. And then very slowly start to make your way back up to a straight spine. If your legs are straight, bring your hands under your knees and use the strength of your arms to bring the soles of your feet down on the floor. Start to heel toe your feet back in so that they're on the mat, a little wider than hip width apart. Bring your hands behind you. Feet might be just as wide as the towel or mat, and start to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Side to side. And just notice what you feel. Bring your knees back up to center. And let's swing around to a tabletop pose. Come to all fours. Shoulders over your wrists, hips above your knees with your knees hip width apart. You might bring your big toes together and separate the knees just a little wider than the hips. And then sit all the way back into a child's pose for a few moments. Forehead might rest on a block, a pillow, or the floor. Arms in front of you, but let this be a nice gentle child's pose. So you don't need to activate through the arms or lift the elbows. Let this be simple. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Sigh the breath out, let it go. We'll be back in child's pose in just a little bit. Lift your forehead up, and let's make our way all the way up to tabletop. And then we're going to come all the way down to our bellies. Now for some of us, being on the belly, this is plenty. And so you might just bring your arms down underneath your forehead, and that's enough. For a lot of us, we already feel this through our low back, so this can be a nice release for us here. If you'd like a little bit more, we'll make our way to Sphinx pose. So shoulders on top of your elbows. Roll the shoulders down away from your ears. And if it feels good for you, you can take your forehead to a block or a pillow, something in front of you. Ever so slightly pull the navel up and in just a little bit, but relax through your low back. And again, if this becomes too much at any time, just come back down and rest your head on your forearms, elbows out to the side. Slow your breathing. You are here right now. And what does it feel like to just be in the simplicity of Sphinx pose or laying on your belly? See if you can soften through any tension in your face. Relax through any tightness in the body if it's possible. And breathe a little deeper. We'll take a few more moments here in our Sphinx pose. Deep breath all the way in. And exhale all the way out. If your head is dropping down or forehead on a block, gently lift your head up. Let's make our way down to our belly. Rest your forehead or cheek on your hands or arms. And start to bend your knees, feet up toward the sky. And just like when we were seated this time, windshield wiper your feet from side to side. Side to side. Bring your feet back up to center, lower them one at a time back down to your mat. Crawl your hands underneath your shoulders and lift up and back into child's pose once again. Big toes might touch, knees might separate, so you have a little more space for the belly and chest to relax between the thighs. This is a nice counter stretch to that back bend. Allow your spine to round forward a bit here. Maybe it even feels good to bring the knees underneath the belly and encourage a little more roundness through the back. And things don't have to be overly complicated in order to be beneficial. Let's take a few more moments here in this child's pose and see if we can just enjoy the simplicity of this posture. Take another deep breath in. Sigh the breath out, let it go. Start to make our way back up to tabletop pose, all fours. Take your time. And we'll step our right foot in between our hands at the top of the mat. You might grab blocks or a stack of books for a little bit of extra support here. Make sure your knee's on top of your ankle and it's not passing the toes here. We want to keep our joints stacked to keep our joints nice and safe. You can tuck your back toes and bring the back knee a little further back to open up through the back hip flexor if you'd like. And then we'll heel toe the right foot over to the right and bring the right block and hand on the inside of the foot. So both hands are on the inside of the foot here. If you need to pad the back knee or the back shin so there's no pressure on the knee, feel free. You might stay upright here, or maybe you bring your elbows down to the floor or to blocks. Coming into dragon pose. And breathe into the right hip and the left hip flexor. Just notice what you feel here. Maybe you relax your head down. And if the stretch becomes too intense at any time, find a space where you can ease out a bit. And keep it simple here today. We won't be here for too long. Take a few more breaths here. Take one last deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to lift your head back up. Crawl back up onto your hands. Take your time. Heel toe your right foot back into center, your hand and block on the outside edge of the right foot. And you might move the blocks aside if that feels better for you. And then swing the right foot back, the right leg back, come back into a tabletop pose. Give yourself a little shimmy and shift from side to side. Notice what you feel, no judgment, just paying attention. Bring the hips back into center and step your left foot forward in between your hands. Again, maybe you grab blocks straight away if that feels good for you for support. You can lift yourself up. You might tuck the back toes and scoot the right knee back so that you open up through the hip flexor a bit more. Keep your left knee on top of the left ankle for this one today. And then we'll heel toe the left foot over to the left side of the mat, hand and block on the inside of the foot. And then again, you might stay upright. Keep pulling the navel and the spine just a little bit so that we don't dump into the low back and we keep our spine nice and safe. Then just make a choice for yourself if you would like. Maybe you crawl down to your elbows. And palms can face up. Head can relax down if that feels healthy on the neck. Or maybe you keep it upright too, so just depending on what you need. And settle into the simplicity of this pose. It might not feel really simple for a lot of us. This is quite a deep stretch. It can be very challenging even to be here. Can you just remind yourself you're just here to feel in the body, to ease out if anything becomes too intense. And you're here to breathe this breath that you have right now.
Maybe you sink into this pose a little bit more, into the stretch. Maybe you ease out a little bit. Check in with your body and what it needs. I'll be here for just a little bit longer. Take one more full inhale. With your exhale, start to lift your head back up, crawl up onto your hands. Heel toe your left foot back into center and take the block or the hand out to the outside. You can tuck your back toes, bring the back knee in a little bit, and then swing your back foot all the way back, your left leg back to tabletop pose one last time here. Shift from side to side if that feels good for you. Let's crawl our knees forward, crisscross the feet behind us, and make our way onto our back all the way down. And today, for our final rest, we're going to bring our feet as wide as the mat and knock the knees together. If that doesn't feel good on the sacrum or anywhere in the back, feel free to take traditional Shavasana with your legs straight out in front of you, or anything else that you need. Arms can come out to your sides, or you can place your hands on your belly somewhere, or your chest and belly. Close your eyes. And simply breathe into this space of slowing down for yourself and inviting in a true space for balance, just for you. Begin to breathe a little bit deeper. And if you would like to stay in Shavasana for longer, feel free to be here for as long as you need today. Just take a moment to notice what you feel. What does it feel like to keep it simple? To invite ourselves to slow things down. To allow ourselves to just be here in this moment for ourselves with everything that is. If you're ready to move back into your day, start to stretch your arms overhead. Reach out from your hands to your feet, stretch the legs out. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, sigh it out. Re-bend through the knees. Roll over onto one side of your body. Make a pillow for yourself with your arms. Pause for a moment. And as you're ready, press into your hands. Make your way back up to a seat where we started our practice together. Bring your hands together at heart center. Gently bow your head. And I invite you to take this with you. This idea of keeping it simple off of your mat and into the rest of your day. And see if you can start to find places where you can simplify. It doesn't have to be overly complicated to be beneficial, so allow yourself a little more space and time. Check in with what you need. And see if you can start to peel back the layers of distraction or overcomplication or overstimulation so that you can come home to yourself. Let's take one more cleansing breath together. Deep breath in through your nose. Sigh the breath out, let it go. Thank you so very much for taking your time to practice with me today. The goodness and light within me honors the goodness and light within you. Namaste.